that sounds good to you, then sit back and relax. You know, when I ordered this, I thought it was going to be about 150% bigger. So, I've definitely learned that when you're shopping on the Lipton's cow, that you gotta look at those dimensions, look at those measurements for sure, because a picture on Lipton's cow will make this thing look like it's the size of a couch, okay? And then this is what arrives. So, word advice, always check the measurements, especially if you're like used to the metric system, or is it the imperials? Especially if you're in the US, because I'll get you with those metrics that they like with the metric system. All those millimeters, you know, are deceiving, okay? Or they'll have the millimeters next to like the inches. They have it in a way where it almost looks like that full amount is the inches. Yeah, anyways. So how is your day going? How are you feeling today? What's the vibe? What are the vibes? Have you laughed today? Have you seen anything scary? October is coming up, so you know what that means. It's spooky season. Spooky season. So, this October, I am making it a mission to just keep myself wrapped up in spooky season. I'm going to be watching horror movies. I'm going to be enjoying the seasonal festive vibes of jack-o'-lanterns and candy corn color schemes. Not candy corn, but the color scheme. And skeletons. And I've already seen some neighbors like down the road with like their floats up. Actually, the neighbors we had last year up until this year, because somehow this year we've had 3 different neighbors, but last year those neighbors did floats, you know, like 1 or 2, whereas my friends, they do floats. I don't know if they've done it though this year the way that they normally do it, but they do floats for like literally every holiday, like Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, I'm pretty sure, Halloween, Thanksgiving, of course, Christmas, and they'll have those floats out there just looking like a parade. And honestly, I'm just cheesy enough to love it. I love it. As my friend would say, it is pumpkin nice popcorn. I think they got it from Costco or something like that. But it was good though. It was real good. I said this tastes like cereal. That's how good it tasted because it had like this kind of like this weird like cream swirl on it. It was so good. I'm like, you could literally just put this in a bowl of milk and eat it as cereal, and the calories weren't crazy either. So you'd probably be better off. But yeah, so we're gonna watch some more movies this month. We're definitely going to be catching 28 Years Later. A friend of mine recently in the group chat said that he watched it. He didn't like it. And he's a pretty big fan of the first two, like I am. Not as big a fan, but still pretty big. And he knew when he heard that was coming out, like he knew, it was like, dude, look at this is coming out. I was like, no, I'm so excited. So he knew it was kind of a big deal to me. But then he was like, the other day, like, this it's not very good, and it kind of detracts from the original formula quite a bit. And I'm like, what? So that was kind of depressing, but we'll see. Because, I will make my own opinion on that, and we'll see. So hopefully they didn't do too much, because it's been so long. And of course, since it's a zombie series, you don't necessarily need to, at least the way they made it, the first sequel 28 weeks, you didn't need to necessarily have seen the first movie at all. And so I imagine this one's going to be similar, where you don't have needed to see the first two movies. So you have, and the movie did really well, so you have a whole like new generation or two of people who've never seen the first one or two, unless, I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure they were on Netflix there for a little bit. And so they don't have like a reference, so if it's a good zombie movie, they'll just be like, oh, okay, this is pretty decent, I like this, but they won't know the standard that was created originally. So we'll just see. Like I said, I'll probably end up watching 1 and 2, because I actually have those already. And I'll watch those 1 and 2, and then I'll watch 3. So, like I said, I still want them to create a 28 months later series. Or better yet, they can still make 20 months later, after 28 years. It works either way. It works regardless of the previous installment's numbers, right? So, let's just see. Then we can do 28 decades later. Yeah, no, we can't do that, obviously. That would not work. That would be totally ridiculous, actually. At that point, let's just say we lost. Okay, there's no coming back from that. Unless there was like a resurgence type of deal. I don't know. That might be the premise of the new one. I don't know. Of years, but we'll see. So, and you best believe I will let you know how this movie is for me. And so, I want to see that. I want to see weapons. In fact, normally I watch a whole lot of trailers and I like horror movies for the year, and I didn't really do that this year. I saw a bunch last year, and I didn't see basically any of those. In fact, that reminds me, I need to watch what is that movie called? I need to watch the latest Quiet Place, which is a prequel of some kind, I believe. It has Lupita from, what was she in? She wasn't in Black Panther. What was Lupita in? It was, she was in Us. Okay, and then there was, I don't remember the main movie she had got famous off of, but anyways, Beautiful Chocolate Lady. But that's all I can, she's been in some other things, but I believe she was the star of the latest one, because I remember seeing her. She's the only person that I remember seeing. So, and they didn't really, I thought that was odd. had not been using their Netflix in ages, right? I was just letting it go to waste. And then finally I started using it like a week before they decided to get rid of it, because they had like all the streaming services, and they were like, maybe we don't need all of this. And they were cutting back on expenses anyways. And they're like, we don't need this. And so they cut it. And I was like, just got back into it. I was like, you know what, let me see what's on Netflix. And the next thing I know, I'm adding this and this and this and this to my list. And I was like, oh, I got so much stacked up. I'm gonna have me a nice watching marathons. I ain't gonna be bored. And I got into this random anthology, like, you know, horror anthology, and it was good. It was a good anthology. I don't remember the name, but I think I got like 1 or 2 episodes in. You know, it's the kind of anthology that you know, they're all like independent stories, so you don't have to see one episode to have, you know what I mean? They don't have anything to do with it, like the Twilight Zone or Black Mirror. So anyways, what is that? So, but it was so good. But like I said, Netflix got yanked, and then my brother had Netflix, but he only gave the login to my mom. Whatever. And then he took it away from her, so I don't know what that was all about. So, but like I told my friend the other day, I said, I might have to go back to my roots. My roots. My roots. And I had to sell the 7 digital C's. Okay? Sell the digital C's on my pirate ship. So, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, yeah. How did I get on that topic? I don't know. Anyways. So, yeah. Let me know what you think of this little record of mine. I can't really find a good application for this because it's so small, and I don't, and it doesn't have like it has this little thing here that I guess hang it on something, but even then I'm not sure that's what that's for. So it's like, I don't know, if it had like a little tripod mount or something, that'd be great, because then I could just put you somewhere. Look, the illumination this adds is fantastic, but like, what's gonna hold this thing up? If you got ideas, drop it in the comments below, especially if you are somebody who was particularly good with photography and lighting. You know, either way, you get an idea, drop it in the comments below. And now we will move on to the other trigger. Alrighty, we've got here, let's see, I don't know. So, what we have here is my nephew's old pencil box for school. You know, you take this and it's got your pens, your pencils, your crayons, whatever else you might throw in there, and whatnot. You know, when I was a wee lad and going into the schools, mine was just like a basic, you know, sort of ovular, you know, kind of thing. You know, it wasn't anything design-wise special. But this year, he got a really neat, like, crock-shaped, like a pencil holder thing, and it even has like little crock holes for charms, and they got him the charms too. And he loved it. I actually helped him put it together. I forget where they went. And I was watching him, and we were putting it together, and he just loved it to death. Because at first he was just kind of like, you know, his mom brought it home, and he was just kind of like, oh. But then when we started putting it together, he was like really into it. I was like, dude, this is pretty freaking cool. He's like, yeah, I really like it. And then before I ended up leaving, he decided to give me this, which, by the way, funny because my other brother, not his dad, but his other uncle, my other brother. Anyways, he was like, I'm the one who was into MMA and boxing. They should have got this for me. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm a hard act to follow, kid. Okay, but I'm the favorite uncle. Until I stop saying them forever. At a certain point. Once, I don't know, it's so funny. It's like once, like, they don't need somebody to babysit them. I don't see them anymore. That's how it's been traditionally, anyways. So, I saw one of my other nephews, I think last week, yeah, and that was just strange. It was like, it's gonna be that thing where it's like, when you're young and you go to like the Christmas gathering or whatever, right? And there's those family members there who know you, but you don't know them. And they're trying to have conversations with you, and you're just kind of like, this is awkward. Let's get this over with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that relative. You know what I mean? So I just like, let's not talk at all, because I don't want to have to do that either. You don't know me. I don't know you. Kind of deal. Like, I get it. Because it's like, it's so funny because I'm always in my head thinking of something that I remember very well. And I'm thinking, is that still part of your personality? Like, I don't know, but I remember it vividly. Like, I remember when you liked the movie Year One. Like, it was just the funniest thing in the world to you. I remember when you thought Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was just the most amazing movie. Like, does that still matter to you at all? I remember when you liked this to a T. I remember when you only ate chicken nuggets for like 3 years. And there was no... Yeah. And I remember when you used to pull off the toppings of your pizza and only eat the cheese and crust or something like that, and it pissed me off. I'm like, I don't... Why? Why are we ordering pizza for you to just waste it? I might as well just buy one of those, like... What are they called? The Tostito. I might as well just go buy one of those frozen things. Like, don't. Just because if you're just gonna waste, especially the pepperoni, you're wasting the pepperoni. Kid. No. Drive me insane. Luckily, you grew out of that. It took a while. I was never a picky kid, but I was not allowed to be that picky of a kid. It's like nowadays, like my youngest nephew, I can't tell you the last time, I can't tell you a time ever where I've seen him eat vegetable. You know what I mean? Like, he eats chicken nuggets and salami and cheese and mostly junk, if we're being honest. Or like, mac and cheese, did I already say that? And of course, like, fast food, but it's always something particular, you know what I mean? The last time I was over there, his mom threw down on some delicious lasagna. She didn't bother me making him a plate of it. She made him something separate, something like, it might have been on just like a bologna and cheese sandwich or something like that. He's a healthy kid, but you know what I'm saying? she was the cutest, chubbiest, most cutest little thing ever. And that was it. And then nothing. So I don't know her. I don't know her. But and then my latest niece, Lily. Shout out to Lily if you're watching, which you haven't, because none of your parents know about the channel yet. But you'll probably know soon enough whether I like it or not. So yeah, and she's the cutest thing. She's such a happy baby. I love me a happy, just smiling baby. Just a happy baby. Just happy. I love me. I love that. Just a smiling happy baby. One of my nephews was, what was the name of that movie? Have you ever seen that movie? We talk about Kevin, or there's something wrong with Kevin, or something like that. It's basically about this family, and you know, this nuclear family. At least that's what they were hoping to be. And they end up having a child, and they're happy and excited about it. And I think for the most part the pregnancy went fine. And then the baby is born, and the baby is just like inconsolable, just crying and like death cries basically. You know what I mean? Just howling and crying, and nothing will console him. It doesn't want to food. It's not the diaper. It's just crying. It's one of those babies. I believe that's pretty rare, but he cannot be. Oh, no wonder. I'm like, why are these things hurting so much? But there's like multiple on here at once. Okay, we're almost done with the video, anyways. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Oh no, so he was, yeah, and so as he grows up, he becomes more of a problem. So he started out as just a crying, inconsolable child, and then he had behavioral problems right out of the gate. They were doing everything right as parents, but he was just not well as a human being for some reason. And he basically is a sociopath. Even as a young child, he's a sociopath. And the movie ends very, very badly. There isn't a happy ending to this story. It's a very terrible ending, actually. But he's the kind of kid who, in the movie, where you're like, oh, that's gonna go. You know what I mean? You know where that's going. And it went there. It was actually worse in a way. And it's like, that's how one of my nephews was when he was first born. He was just an inconsolable baby. And I was like, I can't imagine like being like a 24/7 parent, as most parents are, and having an inconsolable baby. Because it's like parents get overwhelmed with regular natural babies when they become inconsolable at times. But imagine a baby who's just like, that's just a regular pattern. They're just inconsolable, and that's how their crying pattern just is. And that's how he was for like the first like 12 months. So, but then he's such a nice, adorable young lad now. So, you know, he didn't become like Kevin, thank goodness. But he's such a nice kid. So, that's what it made me think of. Once I saw that movie, I thought, but anyways, how are your kids doing? Some of you have mentioned you have kids. A couple of you mentioned you were actually pregnant. So if you're pregnant, how is the pregnancy going? Hope it's going well. Do you know the sex of the child? Do you have wishes? Are you wanting a boy or a girl? When are you due? That kind of deal. Did you already have a baby? Did you name the baby Brandon? Let's see. If you have nephews, how many nephews you got? What's your relationship with your nephews? That kind of deal. So let me know. But we're finally done with this video, y'all. We're done. Well, that's the one I'm using right now. So, for this thing, it's just, it just does the job. Now, when I'm done recording this, I'm taking the mic off of it and putting it back on the arm, because I don't trust this thing to remain sturdy enough to hold it for anything. So I'm trying to end up with a dent in my Yeti. Like, you know. That's not Jay, but that is just funny because every time I'm watching her videos, I just always look at that, and it's like, I kind of just focus on it for a while. Like, I wonder what the story there is. I don't know. Obviously, it fell. Obviously, or something fell onto it. Anyways, let's be done. Let's be done. Thank you so much for watching and relaxing with me. Please give the video a lickety like. I really do like having it in this position. This is so much. I just like it so much better. But yeah, so playing. I told you in one of them lives how I'd be kind of freaking out. I'm thinking them planes are gonna come crashing into the house, and it didn't even hit me until just a second ago. I thought that sounds awfully close. But I mentioned I was a very anxious kid too. I always kind of thought something crazy was gonna happen. Anyways, now that that's basically over, thank you for watching. Like, again, give the video a like, and I hope you are doing super well. Also, hype me up, baby.